This is the Commissioners Podcast. I'm DJ Gabe.
I'm Wise Toller.
Subway T.
And that's Commissioners with a K.
How is everybody doing today? It is a scorcher.
Listen, I've said I'm never going to complain about the weather.
Never.
I'm complaining. I am absolutely complaining. It's too hot. It's too hot.
No, there's no such
It's too hot.
my vocabulary. There's no such thing as too hot anymore.
Tea is always hot, whether winter, summer.
So Teddy's trying to reveal my age now. Yeah. Oh, I'm trying to reveal my age.
Because I always swear, whether it's winter, I'm always, my head is always sweaty.
Yeah.
Whether it's winter,
Yeah, that's like me. In the winter, I actually go stand outside my front door. When a hot moment comes, I go outside my front door just to cool down and then come back in.
I never knew that.
So I'm dealing with hot moments and this heat on top. So it's too hot. Way too hot.
I never knew why I
Double this
or anything to do with heat.
Yes, it does. For women, it does.
Okay, all right.
And we don't want that.
You know, men have their own version, but that's a story for another day. That's a story for another day.
But yours is not as bad as ours, though, is it?
Carlton, I've never been a woman factor.
I didn't know men had their own version.
Oh, yeah, it's called andropause. Andropo. And on that, then we're going to pause. Because we have a special guest
That's
in the studio.
but I've got to say I'm full up too. Thanks for the KFC.
You're giving free adverts now.
How well? I mean,
We're getting free adverts.
well, I mean, we've got to.
Thanks for the chicken and chips.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have got to Bossman down the road.
Exactly.
Got to Bossman down the road. You know, we like to support, businesses out here. Are the best.
Businesses.
Our business,
We're the small guys here.
Yes.
So they need to support us.
yeah, that's true.
There you go.
So if you're listening to us,
Support us.
that's any chicken and chips out there, isn't it?
There you go.
Yeah.
Go. So back to our studio guest. So I'm going to get the lady to do the intro.
I'm sure you do that. I've done the last how many intros now, haven't I?
Oh, no. I think we've
just delegated it to you. But you did so well.
Yes.
Because I enjoy it. The fact that you do.
I haven't heard you guys. Let me enjoy you guys as well. But I'll do this one today. And then I want to enjoy you guys on the next one. Okay. So we have a guest in the building. We have an international artist. He's the uptown boy with the island steez. Yes, he's all the way from Antigua. And his name is Tigua. That's how you say it, guys. Tigua. Make sure you drag your...
Tigua, not Tigua, not Tigua.
No. Tigua.
Stretch.
Absolutely amazing artist, and he is here in the UK. So we are happy to have you on the Commissioners Podcast, joining us today.
I feel like you need a round of applause.
No, thank you guys.
You actually fitted in very, very well. You know, the mannerism, the etiquette, the culture. You've partaked in everything. You know, is that the right word? Again? Partake or partake it?
Whatever.
Partake.
Yeah.
You all partook.
Oh, yeah.
Partook.
No,
Which one is it?
That's what I thought in my head. I was thinking partook, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just say you participate in it. But keep it simple.
Yeah, but just that works.
Yeah.
Participated in every endeavor. You know, you're welcome once again.
Yeah, thank you.
Is this your first time?
No, not my first time. I think maybe like fourth or fifth. I've been here a couple of times. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You enjoying it?
Yeah, I always do. I always have a good time. Usually I bring the rain and the cold. But I think I've gotten sunburnt in the last 2 days. That's strange for UK weather.
Yep.
But it's been good.
Well, Gabe's enjoying it, you could tell.
Love it. I travel miles, thousands of miles to get this furnace and to get it in my front porch. I'm not complaining at all.
And even if you're not traveling, then you're paying more for it from the shop. Vitamin D.
There you go.
Yesterday I was playing some like golf. I was out in the sun. I was thinking to myself, like, I don't even know if Antigua it's this hot. Like, it was hot, man. Sitting there, I felt the sun beating on my face. I just said, wow, like, I think I prefer playing golf in April in the UK where it's like cold, you know.
Absolutely.
You don't get hot during the round, but it was good. Yeah, I like.
Are you religiously stuck to like golf? You know, what's your part? Let's talk
My hand.
Let's talk golf.
Oh
Yes.
it's not great. I'm a beginner. I will say I'm not that great. I think it's just fun, and I have a bit of like a competitive spirit. So I think because it's so hard, I want to keep playing to get better. And then I have other friends that play and that are really good. And then my younger brothers started playing, and they're super athletic. And I went away and did like a week lesson and all that. Came back and they're still hitting the ball better sometimes. Wow. I'm just like, man, like I need to get better. So I just keep playing. But for me, it's just for fun. Yeah, I try to go when I can. I wouldn't say like it's like religiously into. I mean, I have gone and paid for a lesson before. Got the clubs and stuff. But I think it's just, for me, it's a game that is good because you can play it anywhere in the world. You know, so if you travel to any different places, you can usually find a golf course there. It's something different. It's a different setting, and it's always quite beautiful. I mean, it's just out in nature. It's always green.
Yeah.
Grass is green. Everything's green. So as long as the weather is good, it's really pleasant. And then I think I'm an outdoors kind of guy. So it's just relaxing.
Yeah.
You just go out there. You're with your friends or even alone. Like I've played alone a couple times.
Wow.
Just go out there. It's at peace, you know. And it's not a game that you want to think about too much while playing. So I wouldn't say it's like therapeutic where like you're thinking about stuff and solving issues. Otherwise, you just start playing bad. You know, you golf, you need to focus on golf. But at least you can clear your mind and not think about anything other than what you're doing in the moment. So it's nice, you know.
Do you play golf? Okay.
I've played a couple of times. I won't say I play religiously. A couple of friends.
Indoor golf.
No, proper golf.
Yeah.
Have you, Teddy?
Yes, I've played once.
Mine is also once.
Yes. So, but some of these things, you know, it's the only time that you see the grass is green.
Yeah.
Grass is green out there. But
Yeah.
one of our previous guests, Jeff, who also spoke religiously about golf and the benefits of just like you've really mentioned, it keeps you at peace.
Yeah.
And as an artist, I'm sure that's something that you really, a pastime that you would really appreciate.
Yeah. Well, without a doubt. I mean, I just think it's just calming.
Yeah.
It kind of like, not to sound anyway, but it does have you like grounded in a sense. You know, like you're walking around a bit, you're outside, you know, you're taking in the sun.
Yeah.
Either you're spending time with friends or family or just by yourself, like I said, but it's good. It just puts you in a nice space. When you're done, you know, you have a beer if you want or whatever it is and just enjoy it. Yeah, it's just, for me, it's just about relaxing. Like, I don't go out there and take it very seriously and like, oh, I need to score this amount and break 100 in this. It's like, no, like, so when I go out there, if I hit a few good shots, I'm happy. You know, mission accomplished. I've done well. Yeah.
So you said your music is a mixture of hip hop, R&B, dancehall, and a couple of other things.
Because he used to be a rapper.
Yeah. The first song I dropped was rap. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you go about creating that sort of, you know, do you always, is there a situation where you always try and encompass everything, or it depends on how you feel at a certain time?
Yeah.
So you can do a hip hop track and you could also do, and sometimes you could bring the two together.
I think it's really like depending on the beat. First of all, for me, it's like depending on what the beat sounds like, then you can kind of play with it a little more, decide what you want to do on it. And then I think it's kind of hard to like blend them all together at once. So sometimes kind of like just pick and choose. And like there's certain songs that I feel like maybe they need like a rap heavy like verse or something to accompany a like smooth chorus or whatever. So I'll do that, or just mix. I think it's always like fun to get one be like an Afro type beat or something, and then do hip hop or pop or something different on it, because that just sounds different. It's cool to like mix the different sounds and just experiment with it.
Rich sound, isn't it?
Yeah. And then you like all the music that's coming out now and all the collabs that other Afrobeat artists are doing with just Spanish artists or people from the other side of the world, or drill. It's cool to see the different sounds that you can do. So if you can kind of like play with it yourself and make the different sounds, and it's cool, you know. So just trying to play with it and at some point hopefully perfect it in a way where I have my own like true sound. But for now, it's experimenting. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I want to talk about like where you're from, Antigua,
Yeah.
which clearly, you have the sound, you have the vibe, as they say.
Yeah.
But where are you based? Maybe let me just
Yeah,
ask
Antigua.
that. You're based there.
Based in Antigua.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're based there.
I've lived there since I was 5. My family moved there when I was 5 from Jamaica. So I was born in Jamaica. We moved to Antigua, primary school, secondary school in Antigua. And then I went away to Miami for university for 3 years and then went back home. And I've just been home. Yeah.
So the music, let's talk about the music back home. What's the vibe like?
Oh, it's very different. Well, different, but the same thing. It's quite a big like mix up of different sounds. We listen to everything in Antigua, so there's not like one genre that's specific. But the main genre for sure would probably be like soca music, and that's probably the biggest one because we've got our carnival season that's just passed, and that's really big. So the majority of the artists for quite a while are just making soca music, or calypso. Calypso. I think calypso is a little more like old school in a sense.
Yeah.
It can be quite like political in a way, and it talks about like most calypsos like talks about problems that the island is having or stuff with the government. It can be quite funny music. Like it tells a story. And then soca is more like upbeat, like party music. It makes you want to dance with people and just have a good time. Yeah. So I think that's the main genre for sure. But then on the radio, you'll hear everything. You'll hear classical music. You'll hear pop music. You'll hear Afrobeats, rap, dancehall, rock. I think so. It's mainly soca music, calypso, dancehall. So those are the main ones.
I'm curious, how big is Afrobeats? Yeah. I'm just curious.
It's pretty big, It's actually growing quite a bit. There's like quite a few clubs and bars and stuff that'll do like Amapiano Afrobeat nights, and like they'll have full nights with a DJ. That's all they're playing. But it's growing. I think it's just growing all over the world at the moment. And I think with help to social media and all these different things, I think Afrobeats has become like a lot more relatable for the world in a sense. And the music's quite positive. So in Antigua, it's pretty big. It is growing a lot. In the last few years, it's gotten quite big for sure. Afrobeats.
So I know we've had like over the course of the week, Buju Banton, the legend himself, talking about the impact of Afrobeats, that basically saying it's contentless, like it's not really uplifting the continent or maybe the freedom fighting spirits that used to be back in the day with the music. As someone who's very like in tune to the music, and you have a lot of connect that plugs you in, or you find your way in and around the music as an artist yourself. What do you make of such statements? When you're someone that's listening to African music in Antigua, is that something that will cross your mind about the impact that it's having on people back home?
I guess it doesn't really cross my mind, to be honest. I guess I kind of just like consume the music and just take it in for what it is. But I mean, hearing that statement, I think it does make sense to me in a way. I feel like music in general, the message of music has kind of changed in a way. And it's, again, I think it has to do with social media and these things, in the sense where everybody's just trying to put out something that the masses can like relate to and just listen to, consume, chew it up, and then they're on to the next new song. So I feel like freedom fighting music and like reggae that's like Bob Marley music, stuff like this, or even like old school Afro beats, I don't think it would be the same anymore, just because music is changing, which is a shame in a sense, I do think. I mean, I can't really speak for myself because it's not like I wouldn't necessarily say I make music that's like, very conscious or like freedom fighter, spiritually uplifting. I guess in a way it has changed, but I could see that. I can understand it, or that comment being made, especially like from somebody like Buju Banton, who's like a legend and has been doing it for a long time and would have made music like that. I think music has just changed. Even dancehall, the style of music that like dancehall is producing right now is so different than what it was even just 10 years ago, the sound.
So my argument with that statement is because no one gets to dictate the sort of creative framework that one has to work in.
Yeah.
Creativity is creativity.
Yeah.
If you choose to do uplifting music, it's good for you.
Yeah.
If you choose to do dance or whatever music you want to do, good for you. Nobody gets to dictate. And that is not the yardstick you should be measuring people in their creativity by. Because you're not doing uplifting music, therefore you're not doing music.
No, I don't know, not at all.
So from someone like, you know, Butch Banton, a real like proper legend in the game.
Regardless of who it's from.
I'm just coming to that point that as an art, like coming from an artist, you know, does that make it even weirder? Like,
yeah, because you would expect someone like him to understand. Yeah, because he should know all the ramifications that involves music.
And I think uplifting music, it has a different sound to it. Because you wouldn't go to a party and be dancing to uplifting music.
Yeah.
In Nigerian setting you can, because the gospel you can. But the point is, you know, you don't have to always do uplifting.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
We also have to remember that, you know, the times are completely different.
Yes.
Back then, there was not many countries had independence to start with.
Even Butch Banton never did uplifting music. I've got music. It wasn't uplifting. So it's some very dodgy ones as well.
I think
Exactly.
I think that uplifting music is for.
You know what I mean? Boom. Exactly. That's not uplifting. So what are we talking about?
There's people that uplifting music is for. I mean, if Fellow was still around, he'd probably still be doing the same type of music, and he would be known for that.
Are we very sure? Or, you know, because you move with the times. You know, you move with the times. The kind of worries that we have today is completely different from what used to happen when I was 5 years old. You know, it's completely changed. So,
but I think he'd still be talking about it though, because even now, especially what's going on now, he was very vocal, so I believe he would still be using his voice to talk about it.
About
politics. He's known for that. It's not everyone that can do that though. No. Even musically, it's not everyone that can do that. Because so you have to allow people to, like Dave said, be creative with how they feel and how they choose to do their music. You know,
I think nowadays as well. Sorry, I think this nowadays anybody can like upload a song or put something out there and have it played. So I think there's no like box that you have to be in of music. You have to make, you record whatever you want. Exactly. You can have a beat play that sounds really catchy and you go la 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 la, just loop it and release it, and it's on Apple Music, Spotify. Anybody can find it, anybody can hear it. I think it's just a lot different now. There's a lot more artists making a lot more music, so it's kind of like everybody's trying to find their way to fit into it or make something that catches. And unfortunately, nowadays, I feel like what the mass consumers are taking in is majority of it's like nonsense. There's not much that's being said from like a message of like uplifting or these kind of things, but that's what people are consuming.
But it's not uplifting people, but it's also the role that music plays in an individual's life. Yeah, you know, it could be a soundtrack to your life. It could be a soundtrack to many things. Yeah. So people, the relationship they have with music differs from person to person. You know, so when you're sad, you listen to certain music. When you want to uplift, you listen to certain music. Yeah. When you want to just have a good vibe, you want to do something. So a relationship is different. You know what I mean? When it comes to music, so I think there's not a one size fits all.
Absolutely.
So with that said, what type of music do you make then, Tigua?
I think I try to just make positive music, in the sense where when I say positive, it's just like it brings a good feeling. You know, when you listen to it, you're not feeling sad or miserable, or it's not like angry music or violent music. It's just good vibes. I come from an island, so it's like beaches, boats, and these sort of things. So I try to make music that can work when you're in those settings. But then nowadays, I'm also just trying to make stuff that can also work in a party setting or for the mass consumer. Yeah. But I think at the same time, I don't want to make music that's just for other people to consume. It's not what I believe in. You know, I want to stay true and make music that I'm happy to release and feel confident. I think that's like, I'm not embarrassed about what I'm making, and then I have to, like separate the artist from the music and this and that. no, I don't want to have to make music that I feel like I need to do that. I want to be able to make music where I feel like this is who I am.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, you can separate the artist from the music, but the music tells you about who I am as a person.
Right.
You know, so yeah, just try to make good music, positive, good music, and mix it up with the sounds. Don't stick into one genre. I want to try to experiment, make all sorts of different music, and that way I can collaborate with different people from all around the world. And yeah, that's one of the goals for sure.
Before we start recording, we were talking about the social media and how, certain things slip, basically.
Yeah.
But tying that to the point you were making, does it play on your mind to be like, to be very much like self-conscious as to who is consuming your music and the level of impact it has on them?
Yeah, I think at the moment I'm still like upcoming and getting to a level where I don't think I really have seen firsthand like the true impact my music has had on people, and like had fans come up to me and like, oh, like your music has changed my life, or it's done it in this way. I would hope at some point that I could do that, and I make music that helps somebody get through time. I just released a project, and one of the songs on there is called Dynamite. It's about my dad who passed away. It's like a tribute to him. But I kind of did it in a way where it's not like super specific. So anybody who's lost somebody can kind of listen to that and relate to it. It's not a sad song, it's not a slow, sad, like reminiscent song. It's just a positive song, and it makes you feel good. Like you can keep going forward even after a loss, So I think I want to make all sorts of different music. So I hope throughout that process, there are songs in there that hit somebody in a way that it's like, wow, like this song really, I listen to this every day. Like I live by this. Because, there are those songs that you wake up in the morning, like that's the song you put on to start your day because it gets you energized, it's ready. So yeah, I'm hoping at some point I do have that impact and I can, change a few lives or just make people feel good. And when they listen to Tigua or my music, they just feel like, yeah, like they've gotten something from it positive. Not like, oh, they feel like they want to go and fight or do nonsense. Like, no, they just feel good,
So how long, what would you say, what's the cumulative total of the years you've been doing music for now?
Like 6 years. Yeah, I think it's about to be 7. Like making my own music. But then as a kid, in school, we always had music class. So singing, playing the recorder, like the basics of music, learning how to read like sheet music and stuff. And then in high school, I was like in the choir. My music teacher, I had the same music teacher from a kid till I was in high school. So I would always like be in the choirs. They'd want me in there, or musicals. I did a few musicals like in high school as well. So I guess it was kind of like always a part of it. And I always did enjoy music. And I was the guy with the headphones in. Like in university, I'd walk around, I had a speaker like clipped to my bag. I'd walk through just blasting music for everybody to hear. I just love it. So I think quite a long time, but making my own music, 6 years.
So what would you say is your most memorable, in your whole music career, the most memorable bit about your music? Can you think of a specific place or time or a thing that makes it so memorable in your 6 years of making music?
I definitely it'd be recent, probably traveling for the music, like going to Lagos and recording this project that I did. Probably for me, it'll be something that I'll remember for forever, and especially with the music.
How did that connection happen? Lagos, Antigua.
So I met a guy randomly. Long story long. I met this guy through getting a dog. I bought a dog. A French bulldog.
So where were you?
I was in Antigua.
Okay.
So one of my mom's friends, she had bought a French bulldog, and the handler had brought 2 of them. So he was gonna come back and get the other one. She was left with 2, and she brought them over. My mom kind of set me up, to be honest. She told the lady. She told the lady. She was like, oh, just come over, bring the dogs. Maybe one of my sons will like it and want to buy it. So, as she said, I had no idea this lady was coming or bringing a dog. I went down for dinner. The lady comes over with the dog. So they asked a few questions. Turns out that the one that I got was for sale. It wasn't hers. It was just the guy brought it down. So I bought the dog, met the handler. The handler turned out to listen to some of my music. We started speaking. And he's like, I like your music. I know people in Nigeria. I'm from there originally. I've got some connections in the music world. And at that point, I had taken a break for a while. Like, I hadn't released music in a couple of years.
Okay.
Well, no, I'd say maybe a little over a year. I'd released one song in the year and a half period. And I was just like, okay, cool. You know, like he sent me a message like, oh, I really like this song. I was like, thank you. You know, like, I appreciate that. And then, look, one question led to another, and we got to speaking. And then he came to Antigua. We met. And then he's just like, yeah, you know, like, I think you could do well in this. You've got potential. Why don't you come to Lagos and see what it's like over there where the music's coming from, and you're doing Afrobeats. So you've never been over there. Why don't you try it? So I was kind of, at first I was like a little skeptical. You know, I was, of course, like, I just met this person.
Exactly.
Lagos is far away.
Exactly.
And I was just like, I don't know, you know? But then I just kind of had this feeling. I was like, I stopped for a while, you know, because my dad passed away, like I said. And so I stopped for a while, and I was running the family business, and I have quite a lot of responsibilities back home. So I was just like, I don't know. But then my family kind of gave me the support, and everybody was like, you know, if you want to do this and it's your dream, you know, you might as well try one last time. And in my head, I was like, you know, I might as well give it one last push. I've never had somebody come to me and be like, oh, like, why are you making music? Like, this isn't you, or this doesn't sound good, or stop. It's always been positive, like, keep doing it, like, oh, like, you have potential, like, really do it. So I was like, why not? It's the opportunity. So yeah, I just ended up booking the tickets, had everything sorted out, and then went to Lagos, met Bio, actually met Wise Tola on the first day there as well. Went to
What time are you at?
I was in the industry. That's my first day.
You can get that quiet.
You saw the pictures.
Yeah, so Bio was like, there's an event that I have to go to, and this lady, Wise Tola, and I was like, yeah, let's go. So I went.
What happened?
Yeah, that was the first day, and I just met a lot of incredible people over there. I feel like I have a really good team that I've made over there, and yeah, I think it'll definitely be a place that I won't forget. And I think I've been doing music for 6 years, but I feel like this is the start. You know, like, for me, like, I think the rest of it was like a lot of like training, practice, and like, you know, like honing in on certain like tools that I need to use for this, and like the music and getting better at it. But I feel like now is when I'm really starting.
So you feel you found yourself as an artist?
Yeah, well, I think I'm still finding myself for sure. I wouldn't want to say like I've found myself. I think there's a few things that I still would like to work on.
Well, what do you need for you to feel like, you know, now this is my lane, and I'm just gonna do 120, 130 miles per hour?
I think there's like a few like small things that in my head are like the yes, okay, I'm on the way to making it movement. Like, I feel like I'm not gonna pay for the meta verified. Like, I need to see a blue tick, like I've earned that blue tick. So that's one of them.
Have they stopped doing that though?
No, you can still apply for it. Yeah, so I actually just recently did. So we'll see if they see if they're
So not everybody pays for it now. I thought they were charging.
No, you don't have to. You can still go.
But I think what they're doing is they're not giving it out as easy now, because they want people to pay. That's where they make the money.
You have to put in what you do, and then you have to like add links. So like they want to see that there's articles written about you.
I was gonna say.
Like, you need to have a buzz already.
Exactly.
So I think that's why it's like kind of like a milestone for me, because like when I get that and I've applied for it, then it's like, okay, well, I'm being recognized in a certain sense. Okay, I'm verified. But for me, like, I'm not huge on social media anyway, so it doesn't mean the world to me.
Sure.
I think just waiting. I think 1 million streams as well, in a sense, is like one of those ones where I feel like that's a milestone that I'd hit and feel like, okay, well, 1 million listeners or people have played that song 1 million times. That's a big number, you know. And I come from a place where it's really small. It's 100,000 people. Like,
wow. Oh, so everybody knows everywhere.
Where I live, where I live in Obudu in GRA, it's 100 people. So I mean, like, people small. I'm like, there are people there already.
yes.
My own, as Ashake will say, my own lungu is more than 200,000.
Yeah, it's small. So like, being able to have those certain like milestones in the career as an artist is something that for me would feel great, because the music industry in Antigua is still really growing, and it's quite small. There's no there's no major studio that you can go to in Antigua that's got all the equipment and everything, and like a proper producer there ready at their own studios. It's very small, you know. The majority of the studios are home studios. There's a few of them that have a booth or people have made a studio.
But the thing is, you know, as an islander, you can really relate to being in Africa, because the culture is, like, if not the same, it's very similar.
Yeah, it's quite similar for sure.
A lot of the like the Jamaican places, some of the names is like directly Ghanaian township names, you know. So some of these things, you know, it's like your ancestral spirit is just going to be awakened whilst you're in there, you know, because you're more or less at home. Yeah,
no, it was really nice, honestly, and I feel like I just like the fact that everybody was so welcoming. You know, I think for me, like I'm very much energy based person.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask that. What was your biggest fear going in there? What was your fear going in there, or what was something that really crossed your mind? That okay.
Like one of them that's just a silly one, just because it's like, you know, like the media and everything is always like the stereotypes or whatever. So like being scanned, for example, is like the first time I went, my card didn't leave my wallet. You know, like I never swiped my card once. I was just like, I don't know, you know. And then the guy, like my master that I had went with the first time, he was very much like, oh, like don't use your card. And he said he had a friend stay at a hotel and they used the card at the hotel and their card everything got wiped off of it. So the first time I went, I was very like skeptical. I didn't use it. But then this second time I went, I was like, really? Let me see what's going on. I use, as long as they said they took international cards, I used it because I was like, my bank will call me if my account's trickling out and there's nothing left. They definitely give me a call. So I think that was one of them. I think maybe the food as well, like would I like the food or not? Yeah. And then just whether or not I would be welcomed in, or just kind of looked at it as like an outsider, like why is this guy coming here trying to make our music, you know, or like who does he think he is, you know, like white or trying to make Afrobeats. Like I went at a radio interview as well on the Beat here in London, and the host had asked about like if I had gotten any like negative feedback about like cultural appropriation or this or that. But I feel like music in itself, like there's no genre of music that you can say is just for one kind of people. You know what I mean? Music is art, and at the end of the day, if you like that style of art, you're gonna do the style of art you like to do. So I feel like I'm not doing cultural appropriation by like trying to make Afrobeats music. I just love Afrobeats music, and I want to try to make it in my own way, you know, like mix it up and do a little bit of Afro pop or mix the different genres with it. But I mean, how I dress is me, how I act is me. I try to stay me, so can't really culturally appropriate with something. I'm just being myself at the end of the day, and then I mix it in a lot with my culture from back home anyways. So can't culturally appropriate myself being an island boy or from the Caribbean, because it is what it is, you know, like it doesn't matter my skin color or how I sound or what it is. I was born in Jamaica. I've lived in Antigua my whole life. Like I'm more Antiguan than anything else. Like I couldn't see myself living in a city, you know, like I'm an island boy through and through. So I'll just keep doing what I have to do, and if you like it, thank you. If not, well, I'm just being myself.
So would you ever live in Nigeria? Would you ever relocate to Nigeria?
Full time?
Full time.
So.
Really?
No, I don't think I could live there.
Why is that?
I think again, it's not to do with like the city and like the fast pace and the amount of people. I think growing up in a place where there's such a little amount of people, it's kind of made me like, in a sense, I don't love huge crowds, you know, and I don't like going to like festivals is one of them that I'll go to. Like I've been to a couple, but out of the crowd. Like I'm not jumping in a mosh pit, or I'm not going to be in the mix of it. I'm to myself a little bit, because
you're not alone, to be honest.
From a quiet place, and like I said, Antigua, there's places in Antigua you can go to and be on the beach by yourself, or go to a restaurant, quiet. Yeah, you go to a party, you know the people around you. You know, okay, well, I'm good here. I know the different groups and who's where, and so I think it's kind of made me a small town person in a sense, where like I don't really see myself living in a place with more than 1 million people. You know, it's just too much people. I think I love to travel, and the thing is with Antigua being so small, it's like everybody that lives in Antigua knows that feeling that you need to get off the rock. Like you're on this island, like there's that bug in you that after a month, 2 months, like you need to leave for a weekend or a week, and then you reset, you come back, because it's slow, you know, and then because it's slow, everything gets done on slow pace. The government works slow. Anything bureaucratic is slow. The doctors are slow. Everything is slow. So it's nice to like get out of it and experience something different and then come back. But I want to raise my kids when I have in Antigua, you know, I have a family in Antigua. I think it's a really nice place to grow up. And a lot of like the first world issues that you can have nowadays, and like with the social media and all this stuff that can really like corrupt the kid's mind or make it harder for a child to grow up. Antigua is still kind of like out of it a little bit and doesn't have as much of it in place. So it's like
censorship or
not really. It's just that because it's so small and quiet, it's like you can kind of like you can still go outside and play like sports. It's not like the internet isn't that great, so you don't rely 100% on it. You know, like there's still moments you can go out, like you still have the beaches and like nature, where as a kid you can still go out into the yard and climb a tree and like experience certain just ways of innocent kind of growing up, which I feel like is kind of hard nowadays. Like I've got cousins with kids and younger brothers and stuff, or like friends with kids, and you see like the different things that kids have to go through nowadays, or like what growing up is like in America or here in the UK and these fast like paced places. So back home you still don't, like it's still there because we still have all the access to it. And Antigua, because we're so small, we get a lot of stuff from the States, and all the TV that we watch is like American programming. And so we still get a lot of that, but you can still maintain that innocence. You know, and so I love it. I love the quiet lifestyle. I think it's nice to leave for a bit. I'll visit Lagos every year, forever. Like from now, I've already told myself like I'll be going back constantly. But to live full time, no, home is home for me, you know? Antigua is home.
Okay, so with your album that you just released is titled This Is Lagos.
Yeah.
So how did you come about that title, and why, you know,
so
is it?
That title was, we came about that like within the first 3 days. I think it was like on the second day or the third day that I was there, we knew that was going to be the title. So we were in the bar having a drink. It was myself, my manager Jay, Bio, Eze. We were sitting down and and Wonka, actually, from Antigua, can't forget Wonka, that's my homie that went with me to Nigeria the first time. And so we were there, we're kind of just sitting down, just talking a bit. And I think I asked a question about something to do with the country, and I think it was Eze was just like, this is Lagos, you know, and it was something that's been said, like while we're there, it's said all the time, like, you know, like, oh, there's bad track, like this is Lagos, so there's this is Lagos. So and when it was said like that, Eze, I think Bio might have said this is Lagos, and Eze was like, that's it, like that's the name of the project, you know. And at first I was like unsure, because I was like, it's my third day here. How are they gonna take it? I'm naming my project This Is Lagos. I'm not even from here. I wasn't born here. I don't live here. But then towards the end of it, I just felt like it was right, you know, and all the music was made there. All the production was done there. The songs were mixed and mastered there. The features were done there. Yeah. The featured artists are from Nigeria. One of them was from Togo. The boy Miles, who's one of them that's on there, he's from Lagos. Pharaoh 47, I think he's from a little more up north. Lade, who's also from Lagos. And then Arvinio, who's from Togo. But we did that feature in Lagos. So it was all done there. And I feel like it's not me naming it This Is Lagos to be like, oh, this project, like this is Lagos, and like that's me, and I'm Afrobeats or the face of it. No, it's like, for me, it's more of just like paying the respects to it. And it was all done in Lagos. I learned so much on that trip. Like I said, I really found like a second home there. And the team that I made, the friends that I've made over there, they're like lifelong friends that I think I'll have for a really long time, I'd hope. So it's just more paying that respect to it. And it's just my way of saying, like, you know, thank you. Like, this is Lagos. That's that project. And for me, it's my first major project. And I could have done it Antigua to Lagos or any of these things. Yeah. So I feel like This Is Lagos was just the one that kind of stuck. And it sounds nice off the tongue. It sounds good. And I think it's really just me saying thank you. And I learned a lot, you know.
I think the Antiguan government need to consider you as a musical ambassador.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you have to still work towards it at some point.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because you're selling the country very well. Well, you're traveling around as well, you know, and like you rightly mentioned, it's not that many people on the island, so
Yeah, it's
everyone gets noticed.
Yeah.
You know? But how do you feel your reaction, the sort of reaction you get back home?
good. You know, honestly, I think the main struggle I had starting off and stuff was getting bookings or having people really push the music, because it's not the typical music that's out of the Caribbean or Antigua. It's not soca, it's not calypso, it's not dancehall. It's a mix. So I think at first there was never anybody that was like, oh, it's not good. There was just that nobody would book me for a show because the whole lineup is all soca artists or dancehall or calypso. And then a lot of the carnival events, that's the kind of music that's being pushed. It's the season for that. So like I've been at a carnival, like on the road for carnival, and they play even dancehall music, and people on the road are upset, like, oh, why are they playing this? It's carnival. We only want to hear soca. And it's half and half. There's some people that like, they love it. They're like, we love to hear this on the road. It's different. But then there are those people that are just like, no, like it's carnival time. We only want soca. That's all.
We got that here as well. We got something called the Notting Hill Carnival. Huge debate about should you be playing Afrobeats in a carnival.
But it's like, why not? Afrobeat still, for me personally, I feel like carnival is a time, it's like, you know, dancing, good vibes, having fun, you know, having a drink, you're out there. It's, for sure, there's cultural purposes behind carnival, for sure, and there's all the things that it celebrates, but the music, like, why not Afrobeats as well? You know, like, they're not that far off too, you know, like Afrobeats to soca music, they are different, but they still invoke the same feeling in your body. It still makes you want to dance the same way. The dances are very similar. Like, I don't see why not.
I remember carnival. I remember hip hop, rap band. Exactly. So they never had that debate there, but I don't know why the debate came up when it came down.
I mean, it might be unpopular opinion, but you know, I think some of these sentiments come from a place of jealousy, you know, and ignorance to an extent as well. You know, because some of these conversations about culture, if you really understand what the Caribbean represents and what Africa represents, you're not going to try to separate the two.
Exactly.
You understand? If you know what it really means. So the music that is coming out of the continent, whether it's from the Caribbean or from Africa, should be regarded in one bracket in a way, because it's us as one people. You know? Our ancestors were moved there, and they came up with some of the music, that the percussions, the drums. These are drums that were made or carved in the same way that they carved it in Africa. You know, it's the same way that they carved it in the Caribbean. So it should tell you that it's one people. The same kind of the food, maybe cooked slightly different, you know, due to ingredients being available.
Based on what you can get.
But but it's still the same staple. What about plantain that you cook? You know, plantain is going to be plantain. Beans is going to be beans. Rice is going to be rice. You know, so we should stop some of these ignorant statements and rather embrace that we have a musical like culture that is dominating the world. If it's not Afrobeat, if it's not reggae, if it's not dancehall, you know, if it's hip hop, if you understand. So let's stop with the ignorance.
I think one of the main questions,
petty, man.
Like one of the main questions I got while I was in Nigeria and stuff as well was like, every time I say I do Afrobeats music, it's like, how? Or like, how can you do it? Or I'd be in the studio and I'll sing something or come up with a verse, and it's like how do you do Afrobeats so well or whatever? I'm like, you don't realize like how similar it is to like the music we're listening to back home. It's just like, yeah, sure, the accent's different. You know, the word choice or what you're saying is a little different, because a Nigerian artist might be speaking in Yoruban or something, and then if a Jamaican artist and Antiguan artist, we have our own dialect and how we speak. So it's different in that sense, but the beats, the instruments, what's being used, even the flows, and like I said, the feelings that you get from the music, they're really similar. They're really not far off. Man, there's Afrobeat songs that, like older ones that have played in the Caribbean at Carnival for years. That I
What's some of those artists?
like Tamaya has one, Pato. I couldn't tell you the names of the exact songs, but there's that one like the Sawa Sana da na na.
And there's the Shake Your Bum Bum. There's
There's one of them.
there's one shake that's called Shake Your Bum Bum.
Sawa, Sawa.
So that's Flavor.
Yeah.
So there's a few of them.
Do you know what that shower means?
No.
Prostitute.
Okay, well, no, I didn't know. But there's a few.
He also he also means someone.
That would be something that was in
He
Nigeria.
also means someone who changes money. So it depends on what context.
Okay.
Oh, is it? So it has a different. I thought it was a
So
shower.
yeah,
A shower.
you could call someone a show. You could call someone who changes money a show.
But that's not who he's singing about.
No, I don't know.
But that's the thing is like those songs.
He's singing about the third one that we don't know.
Let's bring it back in. roll it back. I don't know. I can't tell. I'm just.
Well, you know, is that what you said?
I'm enjoying the music.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm enjoying
The thing is, like, there are songs that have been played. Growing up, I thought those were like maybe from Trinidad or so, like those songs. And then when I actually went to Lagos the first time and I heard the songs, I'm thinking in my head like this is from back home.
Yeah.
And I was looking at me like, oh, this is from here. Like what? I'm like, oh man, like I've heard this song years ago. And it just shows like Afrobeat has been in the Caribbean for years. You know, now it's more mainstream, you know, so it's everywhere in the world and it's getting big on the media and everything. But in the Caribbean, like it's been there for years. Yeah. And there's a lot of pull that I'm sure even like older reggae artists like Bob Marley, these guys would have been pulling on from African influences as well.
Yeah, but Bob Marley was in Africa.
Yeah.
And it is song called Zimbabwe.
Exactly. You know, so this is someone who's they really understood the assignment.
Yeah.
They know where they've come from, you know. And I think it's about time that we actually embrace, like I said, you know.
Yeah.
So Tigua, what's the Tigua?
Yeah. The Tigua.
I'm doing the same thing that you said we should do.
Yeah, okay, man. Tigua.
Tigua. Yes. Tigua. Yeah. Did I say it right, T?
Yes.
Tigua. Yeah. So with you've Jamaica, Antigua, Miami, and then and Lagos, and I understand you've been to Ghana as well.
No, not yet. No, the interview that I did on the Ghanaian station was virtual.
Oh, it was virtual.
I was supposed to go, but I haven't. Oh, yet. No, but I definitely will. I definitely will for sure. It's on the list without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, if you're checking out the ancestral soundscape, then you definitely need.
Yeah, I've been told quite a lot of people have told me that I should definitely go to Ghana, and it's a definitely want to go.
Yes.
Give us Ghanaian blood.
Exactly. I've been without asking.
I was going to say we should go.
I've been. I'd like to go again.
No, I think commissioners we need to
make it happen, man.
Yeah, of course. As if they're happening, yes, we have to make it happen.
But if you set the ground,
the ground is already set.
Well, I need to check.
Yeah, the ground is set, then I could just. That ground is not the problem.
What is the problem then?
That's our ground. We make a time, and then we make a decision to go.
Okay,
that's what we need to plan. I mean, that's where we need to worry. But the rest of it is going to be taken care of, and we, you know, God's grace, we will have a very good time. You know, and we'll have a proper treat.
No, I've heard a lot of good things. Yeah, I had a friend that I do music with him as well in Antigua, Corey, and he went to Lagos like a week after I left the first time for a wedding. His brother got married over there, and so he went for a wedding, and then he went to Ghana after, and he told me, he's like, you need to go to Ghana. I'm like, it's nice, so I will.
It's 40 minutes, so 40 minutes.
So Tigua, in terms of your music, let's do one male, one female artist that you would love to collaborate on a project with. It could be international, could be from anywhere. Does that necessarily have to be Afrobeats? One male, one female.
Like one male that I really want to feature with, and I keep saying it, so I'm trying to manifest this one.
We like people say it, because we are on the podcast, isn't it? So when it happens, we can say...
Yeah, I've been saying the same name. I've been saying the same name since day one. Would be Fireboy, for sure. He's an artist that I really do want to get on a song with. He's one of the first like Afrobeats artists that I really got into when I started listening to it a lot, and so I feel like for me it'd be a cool one. I think our vibes are quite similar.
No, he's a friend. He's a friend of the show, actually. So
I think he's somebody I'd really love to feature with, just because I feel like our vibe would be really good. I think whatever we did work on would probably sound wicked, and then he's just super talented. I think he's good, so I think he's somebody I'd love to work with for sure. And then female artist, I think it's a tough one, because I think right now at the moment there's quite a lot of talented female artists, and that's true. I'd love to work with. I got to work with one already, Lade, who's really, really talented. That was the first female artist that I've got to collaborate with in general. So I really enjoyed that, and working with a female and just the difference of voices and stuff. But I think probably who I listen to the most, I'd love to feature is probably Ira Star.
I was gonna say, good choice.
I think she'd be somebody again that our vibes would kind of match. I think she's got a really beautiful voice too that would work well with mine. And then we just come up with something cool.
Yeah.
So those two. I'd stick with those two.
But listen, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's been a pleasure being here.
Talking to you.
I will say this is my first ever podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I think we've had a few first time.
Yeah, man, really.
How do you feel about it?
nice. Yeah, I was actually there's a few days ago I was just telling Bao, I was like, I really want to do a podcast. Like I haven't done one yet, and I feel like these are kind of like radio interviews are cool and they're fun, but they're quick.
Yeah.
I feel like podcast is nice.
It's a long throw.
Yeah, and you kind of like one conversation.
It's magical. Yeah.
So it's really nice. No, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So what are your socials? How can people get in touch with you and check out your music?
Yeah, so it's Tigua_official.
How'd you spell that?
TIGUA _ official. Yeah, so TIGUA _ official, and that's on all the different social medias. And then for my music, it's just Tigua, so TIGUA, and that's on any listening platform that you listen to music on. Yeah, you can definitely go check it out.
Nice. This has been the Commissioners. I've been DJ Gabe.
I've been Wise Toller.
And I've been, man, you stop being Gabe or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes you forget. Sometimes you're Gabriel.
See, and you even made me follow him, really. See, Gabe, you're very influential. Just know.
Influencer.
Influencer. But I have been, but by the way, it's grammatically correct, so you can check it out.
I did this.
Well, let's not start, because Tigua might say, and I've been
about to. Yeah, you got a new name now, isn't it? Yeah, Soundboy T here. Follow us on all socials at the Kommissioners Podcast.
And that's Commissioners with a K.
And we are signing out.
Peace. Big shout out to Bio.